On March 1st, 1952, somewhere in a random hospital in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, an icon that would go on to change the face of kids' television would be born. Introducing Janice Burgess, a name that's not too well known in the limelight, but behind the scenes, this woman is the GOAT, working her way up with volunteer work at her local public TV station, to eventually moving on to the Children's Television Workshop, known as Sesame Workshop nowadays, working behind the scenes on shows such as 321 Contact and Ghost Rider. During her time there in the early 90s, she decided to take a chance and interview for a job at Nickelodeon, which didn't go well the first time. But she didn't give up, interviewing again and again and again and again. Bro, Nickelodeon was playing with her, man, talking about she had to interview 11,000 times. What are y'all doing? Eventually, she managed to get the job, working as an executive for Nick Jr., overseeing development for shows like Blue's Clues and Little Bill. With her work on these shows, it would not take long for her to be moved up to VP of the Nick Jr. division. And eventually, she got approached to make her own show for the network. And Janice, ecstatic at the idea, accepted the offer and wasted no time getting started on her own creation. A creation that would go to be known as the Backyardigans. In honor of Janice Burgess, I thought it'd be interesting to go down the history of the show that all of us late 90s and early 2000s babies grew up on. So, you know what I'm saying, without further ado, let's get into it.
Come play with us, okay? Okay. Join the Backyardigans starting next Monday at 11:10 Central on Nick Jr.
Now in the intro, I said what Janice would create in that moment would eventually become the Backyardigans. Keyword being eventually, because before we had the Backyardigans, we had Me and My Friends back in 1998, a live-action, full-body puppet show filmed at Nickelodeon Studios. In this version of the show, you had Uniqua, Pablo, Tyrone, Tasha, no Austin yet, but you did have these three random hand puppet characters. What they did or what their purpose was is beyond me, and instead of the backyard, it seemed like this took place in a park. I don't really know, I'm just throwing out theories at this point because other than the name and the recognizable characters that we see, there is little to nothing known about this pilot. Me and My Friends is what you would call lost media, with these pictures being the only trace of the pilot's existence. Now for most of us, this is the first time we're ever hearing about this. But for the people in the lost media community, this has been one of their biggest topics for the past 10 years, bro. Now me myself, I enjoy watching some lost media videos every now and then, you know what I'm saying? So I've been hip to Me and My Friends for a little minute now. And it's been interesting seeing the lore of this pilot come together piece by piece. Seeing entire groups be formed specifically just to look for this pilot, getting in contact with anybody they can to see if they got a copy of the pilot, hitting dead end after dead end after dead end. So what we know as of right now is there are some people who worked on Me and My Friends who have a copy of the pilot, but they can't release it, which understandably so, they ain't trying to get sued, you know what I'm saying? Now, why did the pilot fail? I don't know. I'm being real, I don't know. If I had to guess, it'd probably be because these puppets look weird. Let's keep it stacked, bro. If I seen these things at 4 years old, I'd be terrified. Or maybe it's just because the style of puppets was kind of phasing out, with studios being more in favor of 2D to 3D animated shows. I mean, Me and My Friends lost its spot to Dora, so I guess that should say something.
The Backyardigans enhances preschoolers' early literacy and interpersonal skills, as well as their appreciation and understanding of music and dance.
A couple years later, after the Me and My Friends pilot, Janice was asked once again about a show for the network. And Janice doing what Janice do, she once again pulled out the Me and My Friends idea. But this time with some new touches. The live action idea was scrapped in favor for a 3D look. The show was renamed from Me and My Friends to the Backyardigans, as the show took place in the backyard. Now what was the reason for it to take place in the backyard? Simply for Janice as a kid, that was her favorite place to be. It was, in her words, her wonderful happy place. In addition with the name change, the musical element was added or moved over from the original script. The adults in the bodysuits were replaced with kid voice actors, which gives the show a level of authenticity that a lot of kids shows just don't have. And with the addition of kid voice actors came a whole new character entirely, named Austin. the shy purple kangaroo. My dude Austin is here, man. Make some noise for Austin, man. Now with the transition over to animation, the show was going to be able to explore ideas that the original concept just couldn't do. That being the adventure side of the Backyardigans. The theme that drew so many of us to the show to begin with. A very intentional choice, as Janice herself was a huge adventure movie fan. The new concept for the show was finalized, and Janice and her team got to work on a brand new pilot. A pilot that is also lost. Yeah, Backyardigans has not one, but two lost pilots. Now, how did people find out about this one? Simply put, there was footage of the pilot inside of a promo for Nick Jr. Now, I don't think people are as dedicated to finding this one as they are with me and my friends, but just to let you know. 2. Now, whatever was going on in our original pilot must have been great because the show was finally greenlit. And on October 11th, 2004, the Backyardigans will finally premiere and instantly winning over kids across the world. Y'all remember the first episode of the Backyardigans, man? The pirate episode. The one where the song go like, a pirate, you know what I mean? Bro, doing this video has so many memories of the original batch of episodes just flooding back. That pirate song, the international super spy, the secret agent episode, the surfing episode with the surfing song. What y'all know about Surf's Up? Or the jungle episode, holding the most iconic song to me being
Into the thick of it, into the thick of it.
Oh, the memories, man. The Backyardigans would go on to generate 80 episodes, spanning across 9 years, which honestly doesn't sound like a lot for the amount of time it's been on, but you gotta remember this is a preschool channel, and preschool channels really rely on reruns. Now, across those 9 years, the Backyardigans would go on to generate merchandise, video games, a full-on stage play. It got nominated 8 times for a Daytime Emmy Award, and Janice herself was able to walk away with an Emmy in 2008 for Outstanding Special Class Kids Programming. The Backyardigans was truly on a roll, so much in fact to where the vice president of Nick Jr. at the time said he can see the Backyardigans going on forever. But Janice didn't feel the same. At this point, it was 2010, and Janice was about done with the Backyardigans. She wanted to move on and do different things. So, she wrapped up the Backyardigans' 4th season, gave it to Nick, where they managed to drag it out for 3 straight years, and Janice moved on to a different project where she landed a hand in the new Wings Club, before eventually officially retiring in 2014.
In an out-of-this-world adventure, the Backyardigans are joined by musical artist Alicia Keys.
They travel all over the place. They're all in their backyard, but they use their imagination. And it's really about being able to travel anywhere you dream of in your mind. I said, we've got to do the Backyardigans.
In 2018, just 4 years after her retirement, Janice was diagnosed with breast cancer. And on March 2nd, 2024, she would sadly pass away, just 1 day after her birthday. Now, I would love to say that Janice passed away peacefully without her work being tampered with. But not long after her death, Nickelodeon decided to drop these. Uniqua, Tyrone, and Pablo, animated in a whole new style. These redesigns went viral. Everybody was talking about them, and everybody hated them, feeling like the new designs were disrespectful to Janice, including me. I felt the exact same way because it looked like Nickelodeon was about to do the exact same thing they did with Steven Hillenburg, which was go against his wishes after he dies. Now, they said that these redesigns was meant for a tribute to Janet and were only meant to be in reanimated music videos. And could it be? Sure, 1000%. But Nickelodeon doesn't necessarily have the best track record for me to trust that these new designs didn't just pop up for them to try to start the wheel of milking the Backyardigans. But although Nickelodeon's tribute is a little 50-50, the love and support that Janice received from the kids that grew up with her work was 1000% real. The Backyardigans was a staple in kids programming back in the 2000s. And even nowadays, I got my youngest niece and nephew watching the Backyardigans, dancing along to the songs. And for me, the Backyardigans was always a show that I could just put on and enjoy the good, wholesome vibes. The wholesome vibes from Pablo, Uniqua, Tyrone, Tasha, and Austin. Also, fun fact about Uniqua, she's actually based off of Janice herself. as Janice saw herself as a unique child. So she personified that in Uniqua. So that answers why Uniqua was the only backyardigan to appear in every single episode. And also why the animal she's based off of was never known. Because she's not based off any animal, she's her own thing. Now, if I upload this video on a correct day, then today should be March 1st, Janice Burgess' birthday. And that will also mean tomorrow is March 2nd, the day she died. So, happy birthday, Janice. And also, rest in peace.
See you later. See ya. See you next time. Later.